Sea of Thieves is a game of treasure, battles, and PvP, and I'm going to be exploring it all alone because I have no friends. So this is my story of the first 24 hours I spent in the Sea of Thieves. To begin the adventure, I learned how to eat, use a sword, find treasure, and set sail. I woke up in the tavern and met the stranger that I did not know. I did not think much of it, so I set off to meet the locals. After learning the locals overprice everything, I found this guy who sold me a beard because I could not grow one. After that, I went to go buy my first quest. Excited to see what treasure I could uncover, I ran to my boat all while not failing the jump. Started the quest, spent an hour trying to find the island, and then after all of that, I set sail and I learned that the anchor does indeed work. After definitely not spending too long trying to figure out what the problem was, I raised the anchor and started moving. It was not long before I arrived at the location and found the treasure. When I got to the outpost, I looked around and forgot to sell the treasure for some reason. Oh well, I saw a tornado that looked more interesting anyway. Without hesitation, I headed straight there, and when I got there, I found a boss waiting for me. He was no match for me, so I quickly took him out. As a reward, he dropped me lots of loot, and as I was collecting that loot, I was distracted by a rowboat, and somehow did not notice the real threat. After jumping in the water, I turned around and saw another boat behind me. When I went to try to board my boat to get away, he shot me off the ladder and I found myself in a 1v1 with him in the water. It turns out when it's your first day playing, you suck. So I tried making an escape, but it was too late. He killed me, and when I respawned, my boat has sunk. As you can imagine, I was pretty annoyed, but I was not ready to give up, so after respawning, I found a shipwreck and looted it. And before anybody could take it, I sold it. I kept doing small things, inching my way to level 15 so I could buy a flag. After raising the flag, I ended up finding a skeleton ship. It was not very hard to sink, but right after, someone wanted to steal what I had just got. As you probably guessed, I did not win, and this was enough to make me get off for the day. With a fresh mind, I loaded it in the next day and found a shipwreck, and successfully did the Ashen Winds this time. After loading all the loot onto my boat, I went to go sell it, and after this, I was joined by a friend and we went to go do some sea forts. This time when we went to go sell, there was someone there, so instead of fighting, we offered an alliance. They accepted the alliance, so when we sold the loot, I reached level 30 and got over 100k in profit. This is mainly because they had loot to sell as well. Once again alone, I continued my journey by starting a gold vault. I collected the map pieces and got the X for the key that told me where the vault is. I collected as much as I could before time ran out and it locked me in. After selling, I was getting a little bored of doing the same thing over and over again, so I decided to buy the Reaper's flag with little knowledge of what I was getting myself into. Doing this quickly got me into more fights, which was good because I needed the practice. There was no one on the first boat I found, so I just used it as target practice. Soon after, I came across another Reaper. It ended up being a pretty fair fight because we were both bad. The only thing this guy knew how to do was ram my boat and throw fire bombs. If I knew what I was doing, this would have been an easy fight for me. But no, I suck, so he ended up winning. But I could not let him take me out again, so I respawned and headed his way for round 2. But after more back and forth, we just gave up.
Bro, let's call this a day. I'm trying to go eat. I ain't go stop by the Reaper hideout, trying to get some stuff, my money. Let's just call this a day, bro. I'm trying to.
I ended up doing more sea forts so I could level up Reaper. After selling and lowering the flag, I ended up getting to level 24. Not too bad. Nearing the end of the 24 hours, I wanted to buy a boat to make my life easier. So after definitely coming up with my own name, I finally had my first boat. When I joined a game to see my new boat, someone tried to sink it, but they were so unsuccessful that they ended up sinking their own boat. Anyway, he had a weird keg that makes you drunk without even drinking it, however that works. After finally getting it off my boat, I was able to sell it. But that is the end of the first 24 hours. I had a lot of fun recording and editing this video, and I will definitely be doing more in the future. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, all I ask from you is that you like and subscribe. That's all I have for now, so goodbye.